Welcome back for today's college football pick video play heading into Saturday's action for November 9, 2019. If you're interested in getting all of our college football picks for Saturday's action, you can check those out over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description. Heading into today's video, talking about this contest here between Appalachian State and South Carolina. Going to give our lean on where we see the better value against the spread with the home team, South Carolina, coming in favored by a little less than a touchdown right now, giving around 6 points. The road team, Appalachian State, very high expectations coming into the year, and by and large, they've played up to that high standard with that 7-1 overall record. Now, however, the Mountaineers lost their first game of the season in their last outing. Perhaps they were looking ahead on the schedule, going on the road to take on an SEC opponent, as they fell in conference play to Georgia Southern by a final of 21-24, and that's really the first competitive game that we've seen from the Mountaineers for nearly a month, where earlier on in conference play they went on the road against Louisiana Lafayette, who's been the best team over in the West Division of the Sun Belt, and the Mountaineers in that road outing defeated the Ragin' Cajuns by a final of 17-7. And actually, Appalachian State, they're undefeated on the road. They also have a really nice victory earlier on in non-conference play at North Carolina by a final of 34-31. So Appalachian State, in terms of the numbers this season, they're putting up nearly 39 points per game, while giving up a little less than 20. A very balanced offensive attack, putting up about 205 yards to the air and about 230 yards per contest on the ground. Now, they haven't necessarily gone against the toughest schedule by any means, but in their toughest tests, which was those road victories at UL Lafayette, as well as North Carolina, the Mountaineers came through, and they've shown that they can play up to the level of their competition, and they're going to be trying to do that here against this SEC opponent, taking on South Carolina. So the Gamecocks right now, they're a game below 500 at 4-5. Actually, a common opponent is North Carolina, and South Carolina on the neutral field fell to North Carolina by a final of 20-24. So that was a neutral site game that the Gamecocks lost to the Tar Heels, and that was also back when they had their starting quarterback in there. Of course, Bentley's been out for a good portion of the regular season. He's going to be out again for this one, but Appalachian State had to go into true road setting, and they were able to beat North Carolina. So that is one thing to keep in mind for this one. And really, South Carolina, if you take a look at their overall body of work, not all that much stands out as being impressive, other than that outlier, the victory on the road against Georgia. But right after that upset victory, the Gamecocks followed that with back-to-back losses against Florida and Tennessee, but then they were able to bounce back in their last outing against Vanderbilt. In terms of what these two teams have done this season, Appalachian State, in our opinion, has been a little bit higher in terms of that overall body of work and what they've been able to do. Now, they've gone against an easier schedule in contrast to South Carolina, but still, at the end of the day, we feel like the Mountaineers might be getting a little bit undervalued, getting the 6 points in what we expect to be a highly competitive matchup. We're going to side with the road team, taking the Appalachian State Mountaineers, getting those 6 points as the better value bet. If you agree, give the video a thumbs up. Disagree, give it a thumbs down. You can check out all of our college football picks, including our daily free play, and that's going to be a pick against the spread in the Maryland versus Ohio State contest. Again, you can check those out over at stumpthespread.com, which is linked down in the video description.